Hello and welcome to Ball Street and welcome to the Social Club. We are live. It's Monday, but England are playing, so we thought we could do the normal stuff and put it out, or we could do a live build-up show for England versus Slovakia. And here we are. Ped, you look like you're absolutely buzzing for
Watching Wales.
Yeah, we've also got Wales on.
Craig Bellamy looks...
We will be discussing it. We got told we got like a... Make sure you discuss Wales versus Russia.
Craig Bellamy has had the tan towels out.
What's a tan towel?
It's like a towel with like the tan and stuff on it, and you just do that. We made done on his wedding day. It went silly, and you rub it on your face. Is and that it progressively makes you more?
What Jack Nicholson had in that bit in the Batman film where he wipes the... No, was it like that?
That was acid.
Anyway, Ped's here from Toffee TV and Louis from 100% Chelsea as well.
I just hate Craig Bellamy. I just want to punch him in the face.
How can you hate Craig Bellamy?
His face just annoys me. But I know a lot of people say that about me, but his face...
This is a good point. If Louis' face annoys you, let us know in the comments below. Is it just his face? Is it just his face? Is that why you don't like Craig Bellamy?
No, he's just not a nice person either.
Hang on. We're getting off on the wrong foot on the show tonight.
Absolutely.
Very negative, and you're saying
it's because Craig Bellamy's here. That's why it's a negative.
He's not actually here.
He's there.
He's in France.
He's there.
And we will be tearing the tellies off if you're going to continue to sit and stare. I understand that you're a teenager, and it's very hard for you. You've basically got OCD, born with, as all kids have these days. In our day, with NESs.
In our day?
Yeah,
in our day.
Anyway, Chris is here as well. Chris, how are you?
I thought you'd forgotten about me. Genuinely thought you'd forgotten about me. There's people in the comments already going, where's Pajak? He must be dead. He's all right. He's had a nice little chat.
I did say adjust me seating because you were a bit behind me, so it is hard to, yeah.
England, boys. That's what we're here for. We've only got 29 minutes left to discuss England now that you have been off on where you've been off. Can you see? I'm slighted.
He was talking about tan towels.
That was only a minute.
Yeah, it felt longer, didn't it? Imagine the viewers, Paul.
It's like the Cookie Monster advert.
Cookie.
You know what he's like?
Do you know what? I'm just going to bring it back. The England team's out, lads.
The England team is out.
I've got the graphic on the screen,
like
no less.
Been out for a while.
Have we got the graphic on the screen?
We have the graphic on the screen.
Have we got a full screen?
We have.
Wow.
No, it's not full screen.
It's as full screen as
so
full screen.
So when we sat around here for 15 minutes, it never occurred that we could have. That's not your fault.
Oh, it did occur.
Oh, you just never.
Just don't have time.
Fine. You're disappointed.
There was no way of doing it, Paul. Just no way of doing it.
No way doing it.
So we've got Joe Hart in goal.
Yeah.
We've got Nathaniel Clyne comes in for Liverpool at right back. We got Gary Cahill, Smalling, the centre-back pairings kept the same. Ryan Bertrand's new in at left back. And then Dyer Henderson, obviously new in. Wilshere in the starting lineup with Lallana, Sturridge and Vardy. I've got a question for you, lads, and I'm going to direct it to you, Paul. Is that a 4-1-2-1-2 or a 4-3-3?
That's excellent. That was defo a question that we were going to ask later on, but that's I do wonder whether it is a change of formation, to be honest, because it says to me, I would think it is more of a. I'd say that's a 4. Hang on, no.
You could play Lallana on the right and Vardy on the left behind Sturridge, or someone Sturridge on the left.
It should be 2 up top, but my suspicion is, given that Sturridge came on and started left, I think Sturridge will start.
I think he started
when
right.
it looked to me, when in the England-Wales game, it looked like it was top to me, but that might just be me being weird. But I mean, like, when it looked like that to me, it was working. So maybe I think he's trying it again, because obviously in the Portugal game, we couldn't really test it out because they went down to 10 men. So, you know, I'd in the friendly.
Oh, right,
so it's like, I'm just there sort of...
That thing that happened before the Euros.
Yeah, no, but
you know when you started paying attention to international football?
The Premier
that thing happened in between.
The Europa League final.
I think when you were on holiday in Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'd be interested what you reckon, Ped. Do you reckon he will?
Do you know what?
Do you know 2 up top?
I probably. But main pieces.
But I don't want to talk about that.
I don't. But I just want to. Do you think he's changed the whole team just so he could get Sturridge and Vardy in there, so he didn't have to admit that he'd made a mistake?
That's a great question.
Because that's full on Roy Hodgson, isn't it?
It's an interesting point, but I don't think it's right at all. To be perfectly honest with you.
Chris,
and I'll tell you the reason why is because you think about it, you need to get players in tournament football. If you are going to get through to the group stage, the latter stages, which I think it's likely that England are, you need to get people who've played a bit of minutes. You know, so you're looking at Ryan Burton, Nathaniel Clyne. One injury, these guys could be forced in after not having any football at all. Well, so I think that's honestly why.
I do agree with you, but it's just not as
it's
not
not
harsh.
It's Gary Neville that's done it.
No,
clearly.
If I'm honest, he shouldn't have changed the team at all because if we were safe, I go, yeah, sure, let's go ahead, let's change the team. If we won both our games, we still need to technically win this game to qualify first or second.
Yeah. My thoughts on, we were discussing this in the office earlier, was I think Hodgson thinks they're going through regardless. I think he thinks that any team he puts out is capable of getting a point at the very least. And even if they don't, there's still a very good chance of qualifying as the third best team anyway. So, and here's where I start to get into slightly anti-Hodgson territory, is that it's better for Roy Hodgson for England to get a really good team in the quarters, because they can lose to anyone. And at least if they're going to lose in the quarterfinals, lose to someone good and then make yourself look like you're somehow heroic.
Greg Dyke say either semi-finals or a really good defeat in the quarterfinals. Yeah. So, which is ridiculous on its own. But I think what's important is, don't forget this is a tournament, and it is important that you swap your players around. You should use your squad, because some teams will get to the quarterfinals and start finding that they've got loads of injuries or suspensions, and like Chris was saying there, you find players who haven't played. I think it's important to keep players fresh. I don't know if I would have made that many changes.
Is there any need to change the fullbacks? Because I can agree with it in terms of
Kyle Walker put a lot of.
Listen, he absolutely has, and they both put a lot of running in. To be fair,
I'd say Kyle Walker's been our best player.
But I think I agree in terms of get your midfielders up to speed, get Wilshere some minutes on the pitch, because he clearly likes him, doesn't he? Get Henderson in there, because he look, face it, if he'd not been injured for a lot of the season, Henderson probably would have started the tournament anyway. Yeah, for you. But then, well, we're not getting into that now. Yeah. But the point is, I get it rotating your attacking players to get them on the ball. But you're right, I don't know whether.
But what I don't like is, and this is what I was talking about last week about when he made the subs. I don't think you should take a whole block and change it. Like if you have two centre midfielders, I don't think you should change both, because that's changing a big part of your side. Yeah. Like no, I know he's only got 3 centre backs, but you don't only ever change one. You keep one, your best one in there. If you start getting whole areas of your team and changing them around, that really unsettles your side.
Yeah. I'll ask the next question, then we'll go to comments and stuff, if you don't mind, Chris. Is the changing of the team a sign of overconfidence or a sign of how good the squad depth is?
Overconfidence.
Well, that's interesting that you've just answered that. Hold on a second. We'll come to that.
And elaborate.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Chris, you got some comments, some people's thoughts on the team?
Yeah.
To hand?
Yeah. I just got to find where they are. Alex says, good looking lineup. Interesting to see Hodge make changes.
I think we've done all right.
If England emerge victorious, he won't waste time taking credit for it. I mean, Sturridge is only the most versatile striker in the Premier League. Sam Harrison says, all the players have come in as second choices and could be needed. Imagine relying on them in a semi-final if you get an injury to a first choice. Yeah, good point. And then Sam Harrison again says, thinking Sturridge will float around again and be free to go where he wants, rather than him being up alongside Vardy.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I suspect I actually agree with that as well to some extent. I wonder whether, does Sturridge take the Rooney role to some extent?
Yeah, I think he looked a lot better deeper, didn't he? He was the only one with a brain the other day. I don't know whether that was his role or whether he decided to take that role, because I was critical that having 3 strikers on the pitch it actually creates less space, because the defenders just drop off. Yeah. And Sturridge has got a brain. He's a great footballer. Okay, he's lost a bit in the injuries, but he's got a brain, and he knew to drop in and become that number 10. Yeah. So I think he can do that. I think he can dictate play. I think this is not club bias, but I think he should have changed one of the centre backs tonight. Because what happens in the next round if one of them centre backs are injured, and he has to bring John Stones in? And looking from a club point of view, John Stones hasn't been that comfortable this season.
Was anyone in danger of... everyone asks one of these questions on every single show, and it's going to be me this time. Was anyone in danger of picking up a suspension in terms of bookings? Does anyone... In fact, you know what?
There's no way of knowing,
Paul. Watching.
There's no way of knowing.
There's normally no way of knowing, but we're live. If you know the answer to that, let us know in the comments, and Chris can then pass on the info.
Sure, our production team could find something like that out.
Production team, yeah, or make a brew.
Aubrey, can you sort that out?
Make a brew as well.
But I do think that it would have been it would have made sense to probably bring Stones in tonight.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think one of them is on a booking, but just in case.
Is he the only one you'd have liked to see, given that you're not club biased?
I'm not. Listen, Ross is very lucky to be in the squad. I'm not going to sit here and start going, he should have been playing. He's very lucky to be in the squad. And I think the funny thing is, only 2 players I think haven't played, and it's John Stones and Ross Barkley. I think that says everything about our season, to be honest. But no, I'm not surprised Ross is not playing, and I'm not that arsed that he's not playing.
But you say that though. I mean, he's persisted with Dele Alli in the first couple of games, and he's done nothing. And I think, look, and I know Dele Alli's consistently had a better season, I think, than Barkley.
He hasn't. The funny thing is, out of all the midfielders, Ross Barkley's got the best stats. Now, I'm not saying that should dictate he plays, but he has got the best stats.
Yeah. But this is what I'm kind of driving at, is they're both young players, they're both going to have dips in form, whatever. For me, Barkley's got just as much talent and just as much ability to turn a game. I wouldn't have minded seeing Barkley get a run. Go on, we'll let Louis talk.
Go on, Louis.
Because you haven't talked for a while.
To be honest, with Ross Barkley,
We have a habit of doing that on the socials, don't we? We'll just talk, Pet.
I agree with Ross. I think Ross Barkley is a really, really good player. I like him a lot. I think because he's really strong, he's good on the ball, he drives forward. What we need is direct players. But in terms of how he's changed the squad, I don't think it's a good idea, because we still need to win this game. And I know the squad's got a good depth, but I think it's better to have a team which has played together constantly for the past few games and just sort of, you know, they're more developed, and it'd be good just to get those points on the board just to be safe.
Yeah. Can I just make one more point on the Ross Barkley thing?
Go on in.
The irony is that Dele Alli's playing in Ross Barkley's role. Yeah. He's changed Dele Alli's role, and that's why he's been rubbish in the first 2 games. He's took him from being a proper number 10 who's a second striker to being a centre midfielder, which isn't Dele Alli's game, but is Ross Barkley's game.
Yeah.
So
nobody was talking about Dele Alli at the start of the season when he was playing alongside Dyer.
Exactly.
And no one was talking about him until, as you say, he moved into that number 10
He's took
position.
him out of this. He's took him out of his natural position, where he's really, really good, and moved into a role that's
And is it a
alien.
surprise that Kane's not playing as well now as well?
It's because with England, it's been the same over and over for so many tournaments. We just take the best players. We don't take the best team, and we've just shoehorned Wayne. Like, even though he's done really well in the central midfield position, even though he's done really well as a number 10, he's just shoehorned Rooney into that team because he's the captain. Yeah. I mean, granted, he has to play, but you shouldn't have to go.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because you do wonder what would if another England player who was another marketable England player, let's say, had an amazing season. I wonder whether it would have been easier to drop a Rooney, and how much that, you know, because ultimately you've got to have the guy. Rooney's still England's best player, isn't he? He's still the face of that team.
I don't think Rooney would have been the fall guy. I think Rooney's been brilliant, and I think he's in a position where someone like Henderson would have just played anyway. Yeah. For me, it's more like Sterling. He shouldn't be in the team, and if he wasn't in the team, you could change the shape slightly to have Dele Alli right off Kane, and then play with a. You could still get away with what you're doing. Rooney's playing so deep. I don't think he would have. He's not playing as a number 10.
The last 8 games of the season where he was playing a lot deeper, he really did impress me. I thought he played very well. And then against Wales, when he was slightly further forward, he was playing well again. You know, channeling that inner Scholes, sort of all the pass and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But you know, it's sort of.
So just go back to Chris's question then. What do you actually think then in terms of where people are going to play, Chris? Because let's say he keeps the same formation.
Yeah.
Who's playing the left of a 3 or what?
Vardy, I would guess, because that's where he came on in the second friendly, was it? He came on the left-hand side. I'm just going to go back before we move on too far. Jordan Everett said Kale's on a booking, and Geordie B4 said Kale's the only one who's in danger of getting a ban.
So, Kale gets booked tonight. He's out the next game. He's out the second round, isn't it? So he's out that game, and John Stones has to come in, and people are already nervous about John Stones. So why didn't he just start John Stones? And that's not club bias. That's just normal.
You're spot on. But the only reason I can think that he's done this is he's actually thinking Dyer's the backup.
But then you lose your
terrible.
But then you lose your
midfielders.
But then you lose your holding
midfielders.
But then you lose your holding midfielder.
I totally agree with you. It's backwards. But I've had Hodgson as a manager.
I struggle to think like Roger, and if I'm going to try and get in the mindset.
But isn't that just an absolute basic, though? Isn't that an absolute basic that if you've got a game that you think you're going to win, you just leave the player out and then you've got him for the next game?
But the thing is, I don't think this is a game we can easily win.
Yeah.
We struggled against Russia. Wales is difficult. We're England. What do you expect? We are awful. Let's be honest.
I'm hoping to be
You're
pleasantly
talking,
surprised
and all
by
I
this.
can see is Jackie Oatley.
I know. Yeah. I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised by this game because I think where England fell foul in the Wales game was the enthusiasm and exuberance that England had at the start of the tournament, which is nothing to do with the manager. It's to do with the players and being on the occasion. Has waned under that manager because he doesn't know how to get people up to that level. So actually, in some respects, this was the most eminently losable of these games. Not because if you put Slovakia first or whatever, just because you get yourself up for Wales and then all of a sudden it's Slovakia and there's a complacency I think that creeps in with England sometimes when they're supposed to beat teams. Bringing in a load of new players who want to prove themselves. Actually, if England go out and get an early goal in this, I think they could run away with this game, which would be fantastic. But if they don't, I don't know. I think we're going to be right back in the same situation that England have always been in with Roy Hodgson. Is he's not very good at proactive changes, albeit fair play. He did it against Wales.
It'll be interesting though if you flip that because they'll be thinking we need a point from tonight. So will it become like say after an hour if it was 0-0? Will they think right? Well, let's shut this down, get our point. That'll give us 4 points. That should get them through.
That's another great question. If Wales beat Russia and England Slovakia draw, who would be the best third place of those?
4 points you would imagine would get you third place, a best third place.
Would that be third? Yeah, it would be enough for Slovakia. England would finish second, wouldn't they? And then Slovakia
I'm not gonna lie, I still don't get how the third place thing works.
Don't worry about it.
There's a team that finishes first, team that finishes
It was
second,
a silly question.
and a team that finishes third.
Cheers,
Ben.
There you go.
It's one of those things that you think in your head and then
It's a top
you
four.
say out loud and you remember that you're live.
Like, will you marry me?
Yes.
No, Chris.
Just wasn't live.
But I'm sure it was live.
I did it pre-recorded. WhatsApp.
What's this guy? What's that?
Yeah. So,
Sorry,
is
Kat.
throwing it out there now. Is there anyone who's gone into that side that you think has the ability, with a good performance tonight, to put themselves into the starting 11 for any potential quarter-final game?
Vardy. It's got to be. I think Vardy's I think he's the best suited centre forward England have got for the way they want to play, because he's so mobile.
Yeah.
Sturridge is a brilliant
That
player.
was the wrong. Even though he scored the important goal, that was absolutely the wrong game and the wrong time to bring Vardy on against Wales, wasn't it?
Just
When Wales were a goal up and defending deep, you throw the pacey guy in who runs in behind to counter attack.
To be fair though, like sort of with Jamie Vardy, I see where you're coming from, Ped, but I think he only really suits that style of play. And if we need to mould and change, that's where he's going to struggle. Because a prime example again was in the international friendlies. He wasn't playing great. Danny Drinkwater comes on, puts the ball over the top, he wins penalty. It's sort of, it's that style of play that we need to use if we have Jamie Vardy. We just need to be direct.
Yeah. Is that? Do you think Kane's just done in terms of the first choice? Do you think it's down to Sturridge and Vardy to just decide who's going to be starting the next game?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Or is it? Do you think Hodgson will literally revert entirely back to the team that started the tournament?
I think what he'll do is once they're out the group, then it becomes a knockout. Then things change very quickly, don't they? You have to take one game at a time, and he'll just probably think what's best for that game from what we've done in the first 3 games, and I think it'll be a little mix. And I can't see Sterling coming back into the side.
You think?
He's been awful, hasn't he? Though.
Yeah, he's been
truly awful.
Yeah. No, I actually have got no follow-up to that.
He's been truly awful, hasn't he? Like, nothing's come off for him, and you just can't imagine it coming off for him. Whereas Vardy came in the side, Sturridge came, and suddenly things started to happen. And I'm sure Kane in the side, things will happen for him.
The problem England have got, and again it comes back to the manager, is that he is historically the way he plays football is he plays it. You maybe let the players have a bit of fun and try a little bit of a thing for the first half, but largely it's to keep it solid. Either go a goal behind or be level, be a bit 0-0, and then with 15 minutes to go, throw a load of attacking players on and see if they can do something. And I do wonder. I think that the thing with Sterling is that there is no one else in that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just missing out on someone. But you could play someone out of position.
Vardy.
Exactly. But there's no one. If you're playing that formation, there's no wingers in that. There's no real.
There's no wing. There's not one winger in the squad.
Yeah.
Again, weird.
Well, you know, if you say Andros Townsend in that situation, would have been an option. In
He's
that.
got one winger in the squad, and yeah, he's playing a winger. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really make any sense. It's like if you're not playing wingers, then you take one winger and go, we'll throw him on
as an option.
But you don't then start with the winger and go, because what happens if he's out of form? Suddenly everything has to change, or you have to play it out of position.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Have you got any comments for us?
Yeah, so we got 10 minutes before kick-off. Geordie B4 says it's Sturridge, Vardy and Wilshere are the 3 players who can gain a position. We've also...
He clearly wants to get Wilshere.
I know,
he loves Wilshere.
He does, he massively does. Faiz Saeed said Sturridge plays well tonight, he's nailed on for the rest of the tournament. And finally, Sam Harrison, I thought it was a really good one. Sturridge and Vardy only, as they have replaced players who've been poor. Ali, Rooney, Walker and Rose have done nothing wrong and will return.
Ali's been rubbish.
I think
but
someone...
not his fault.
No, you're right. Yeah. But I think Ali potential, I don't think it's nailed on. I think he will more than likely come back unless someone is, I think, exceptional. I think you'd have to see an exceptional, I don't know, maybe, I don't know who would even... I don't know who would come into the contention for that Ali role.
It depends who you're playing in the next round. For me, if we were playing a Germany or a Spain, I'd play Milner in that Ali role because you'd have, say you had Danny Rose or Nathaniel Klein. No, just hear me out. If you had Danny Rose or Nathaniel Klein, who are players that like to get forward, the prime example is in the Sevilla game or in the Dortmund game where Moreno was going forward. You had Milner just covering.
Yeah.
So I think if you're playing someone there, you need to. If you're playing a big team, you play Milner.
Yeah.
Milner's that person who I think can come into that position.
Aren't we suddenly then reverting back to type and having
Listen,
like all the players playing? Like what I mean is isn't it almost like well, you had your chance, youngster, but we're replacing you with.
No, I agree. I think that we've said this thing with Milner. The problem is there's a disrespect towards James Milner. I think at times, and look, we've had it. I've been guilty. I've said it a lot during the season.
I like him.
No, but you're doing it nevertheless, and I've done the same. Is that you go, oh, James Milner, and we've said, look, he looks like a guy who's constantly just missed the bus. You know what I mean? Like he's, the way he runs, but. He's still, in terms of goals and assists, he's right up there with any of the Europe's top players last season.
The thing is with James Milner, though, if he was called something like Giacomo Millerino or something like that, he'd be like, oh, he's amazing. I love Giacomo Millerino. Yeah. But he's called James Milner, so I was like, James Milner.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. But
Jamie Shawcross says, worst shout-out ever, why the fuck would you play Milner?
I just explain why I play Milner.
No, see, the thing about it is, though, I just think it's all about positions, and I think Dele Alli's playing in the wrong. Yeah. He's playing far too, and that's not helping Kane. And what the simple way to look at it, well, it's all because of Rooney in the team. It's not. Yeah. It's not because of Rooney. It's just not. He's not putting players in the right positions.
Yeah, I think that one last thing on the Milner thing. I don't think it should be underestimated having top level experience, and I think Milner's experience gets underrated as well a lot of times.
Yeah, he's an underrated player.
I'm focused. I'm listening.
Watching the match.
But I'm watching the match.
Hey, listen to this for a comment from Salty Sacks. Milner is an excellent squad player. Just because he isn't someone the hipsters like, people think he's rubbish.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. I think it's important to have guys who go in there and know what they're doing and have the experience and don't bottle it at the biggest level. And Milner, if he had another yard of pace, I think everyone would be raving about him, but he hasn't. And I think there's definitely space for him. But I think there's more exciting options. I'd rather see a Barkley get a go in terms of.
What would have been interesting tonight? They changed the goalie. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because
I don't know.
They've changed that many players in the squad. You think throw another goalie in just in case.
I know.
Fraser Forster.
Let's just talk briefly.
There
is another game being played today that we've completely overlooked. Wales are taking on Russia. That's a thing.
Russia?
Yeah, Russia's a thing.
Russia's a thing.
And Putin will never let us forget that fact. But what do you think about the Welsh? I've actually enjoyed watching us. I don't think they did themselves. I think they could have been better.
I think he bottled it against England.
Yeah.
I think he bottled it. I think he got to half time and he just said, lads, defend this. And I think he should have been a little bit more proactive because he must have seen what England were going to do. Even after he's seen the sub.
Gary Cale's captain.
Go ahead.
Yes! Go on, Gary!
Go ahead. Why not?
Yeah. What? And
it's because James Milner's not playing.
He bottled it by not changing it. He should have just been a little bit more proactive, played a lot better on the break, but he didn't. He just said, sit in, maybe that was the effect of having Vardy on the pitch for England, thinking if we do try and go on the break, England are hitters on the break.
You know what I like about Wales is just the fact that a lot of the big name players are not delivering at this tournament so far.
I like Anglesey.
And Anglesey.
That's one of the things I like about Wales.
It's the thing that Gareth Bale, look, he stepped up. You know, he's got. I mean, fair enough. It's 2 free kicks, but
one which he shouldn't really have
But
scored.
ultimately, you know, but ultimately, you know, your big name players, you get opportunities, particularly when you're not a team who goes out there and dominates the opposition. It's moments of brilliance that win games.
Do you know what I love about Wales, right? The team is that every player knows that Gareth Bale is just the man, right? Yeah. So they all just back him up, look after him, and make sure he gets the ball. Look at Portugal. Right, that's what Portugal should be doing, but they're all too arrogant. They all think, all right, they don't all think they're as good as Ronaldo, but no one thinks they're way off Ronaldo enough to do all his hard work for it.
Do you think Portugal think they're a Spain?
Yeah, they do, and that's the difference. But that's what'll probably take Wales further than Portugal, because none of their players are arrogant enough to even think. Although Joe Allen with the hair and beard,
amazing.
Exactly. They just look after their number one man, and they know that he'll turn up for them, and that's what's brilliant about Wales. Yeah. Now, that won't win them the trophy, but it's great.
They are a good team. They're not. There's the team spirit, and that's what's important, and that's what I think will take them further in the tournament. It's just that spirit that they've got.
Yeah, no, like I say, I've enjoyed it. I really hope Wales are my pick to go to get further than people would expect in this tournament.
There's a face you wouldn't stop punching, would you, if you got the chance?
Wilshere.
I wasn't going to say whose face it was, but
just Jack Wilshere will be punched in the face by Ped. If you disagree, let us know in the comments, Arsenal fans.
Arsenal fans, I know, we're on the internet.
Listen, at least he's singing. Davy Vardy can't even.
Vardy, that's not even Vardy. That's his lookalike.
Oh, and there's a Prince. And not even the good one.
Not even any purple rain.
You don't know the words, Roy.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining us, the Matt will be going.
No, there's men dressed as. There's men dressed as knights.
No, but you know what? I say this right, and I don't agree with it, and I would never do it, and I do more often than not look scornfully upon it. But if you go there, dress how you want. If you're going to sing and make noise, is all I'll say.
The only time to wear chainmail is if you're in the company of Russians.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Or perhaps you're defending your Daily Mail reader who's defending his home. I don't know, like
from the European hordes.
Yeah, we're going to be back. How long have we got left, Chris?
About 2.5 minutes.
Excellent. We're going to be back at full time to discuss the match and how things have transpired in Group B. So stay tuned for that. We'll be putting the link out on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so get on the Ball Street Twitter.
I'll put it in the comments now as well.
If you can do that, that would be splendid. Yeah, keep your thoughts coming in on it. I want some score predictions actually for England and for Wales, because why not? Ped, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go 2-1 England, and I'm going to go 2-2 Wales and Russia.
Okay,
that's an interesting show. I think Wales are going to walk over Russia. I think they'll win that easily. I'm going to say 1-0. I think that they'll get the result. I'm not sure about England. I'm going to say, I want to agree with Ped, but I've just got a horrible feeling it's going to be like a boring 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw.
Okay, I say this go for me, and I do this every time. I could go both ways for England. Like I said, an early goal, and I could see them maybe a 2 or a 3-0. If not, I could see it being an horrific game of football.
When will Skate be sent off?
Oh, at any point. At any point, at any given moment, that would be great. In fact, I know I could do with them having a worldie just to bring his transfer feel for Liverpool a bit. And Wales, I fancy Wales to absolutely transfer Russia 3-0. I'll have that, Chris.
I think 2-1 to England and 2-1 to Wales as well, actually. Pay the 2-1.
Excellent. Does anyone think quickly Russia will actually do anything, or are they just terrible?
I think they
are shocking.
Yeah,
they might need to, or they'll be running into other people's.
Would it be a bad thing for the tournament if the Russians go home?
No.
Will he go home though?
Might be bad for like clicks for the BBC News, wouldn't it? Like,
the Daily Mail will be devastated.
Devastated, yeah. So let us know your score predictions, comments below. Which player would you like to see get a game? Anyone on the bench you want to see get a run out as well? I think Kane's going to go. Don't forget to subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. We're here normally every single Monday doing Social Club. It's normally brilliant. We talk about club stuff as well, which is great. We'll be back at full time for the reaction to this game. Will England make it through? Will they top the group? We'll have the answers to all of those questions. Enjoy the game to the best of your ability, and we'll see you in about 100 and something odd minutes time. Cheers.